Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Guy's Home Kitchen. Tonight we're making smash burgers, one of my favorite ways to do burgers. It is perhaps the most flavorful way to do burgers. We're taking a break from the Italian streak we had, but so stay tuned. It's a really simple recipe, but the choices that we make throughout in the process and the techniques are actually what makes this really great. So make sure you pay attention. Make sure you comment, make sure you share this page right now, and I'll see you in a second. All right, let's get saucy. Here we go. We have our ingredients on the table here. We have the star of the show, which is the meat. We're doing a 50-50 mix of short rib and picanha, which, in case if you haven't heard, this is basically top sirloin round, very popular in Brazil. It is my favorite cut of meat that to eat, especially as a steak, more than ribeye, which is like the best before I got into this. So I'm gonna show you the proper way to cut this tonight, which part of this is actually real picanha. And we're going to just keep it really simple tonight. I found with burgers, when you have really top quality meat and you do it the right way, you want less is more, okay? So we're gonna have meat, we have American cheese, okay? The cheaper the better. Very few times you're gonna hear me say that when it comes to ingredients. The reason for that, so Kraft singles, this is Land O'Lakes Yellow American. The reason for that is the cheaper it is, the milkier it is. And actually the milkier it is, the more of the fat flavor you're gonna get from the cheese, which is what you want in American cheese, which is why Land O'Lakes is my favorite and Boar's Head is not preferred. We are going to make tater tots tonight. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the page, but we're also going to be making tater tots, and I'm going to be tossing them in a garlic butter truffle sauce. So stay tuned for that. We have everything for that right here. We have garlic, a little bit of oil, top quality butter, truffle oil, Parmesan Reggiano, and chives. And for the meat, we're going to make salt and pepper and garlic powder blend to season the patties. And then also we're going to toast buns. So basically pick up your favorite bun. Now when it comes to buns, you really want to, whichever your preference, if you don't like it toasted, don't toast it. I like my buns nice and warm and toasty and hard on the outside and nice firmness on the outside, but soft in the middle. So it depends how you like your buns. So however you like your buns, just do it that way, okay? But we'll do this later, okay? For the burger sauce, we're gonna make a house special sauce, which consists of mayo, ketchup, mustard, hot sauce. I actually ran out of Louisiana, so I'm gonna use my other favorite hot sauce. And Mendez hot sauce, which is a Brazilian hot sauce, which pairs nicely with a type of picanha, okay? So we'll make that sauce in a second. What we're gonna do is we're going to start with the tater tots. So I guess I'm running out of room here. So let me show you the secret when it comes to tater tots. We're not making them from scratch tonight. You know, I know you may be disappointed, I don't know. But frozen tots are fine. You just gotta treat them right. So we can make fresh tater tots. That's a whole show. So here's the thing. Put the temperature on convection, if you have it, on the settings to the bag. And then you put your tater tots on the pan. And what you want to do, if you want crispy tots, which I love crispy tots, that's going to help soak up the sauce too once we toss in the sauce. You just drizzle it with some olive oil here, like this. Okay? And then you mix it up. And what this is going to do is when you bake them in the oven, the oil will eventually kind of, air fry them, if you will, into a nice crispy texture. So that's gonna go in the oven first because I want those done. I don't have to worry about that. So my oven's set to 475 on convection, and I'm gonna put it right in the middle, and I'm gonna put it on for 20 minutes. Check it. If it needs more time, I got more time. Alexa, set timer for 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Thank you. Okay, so next we will make the sauce for the burgers. Get this over with. So first we're going to put in mayo. I'm doing this in the order of largest to smallest quantities. This is about a half a cup, maybe a little bit more of mayo, probably 3/4. Okay, and then the next is going to be ketchup, and we will put that in there like that. Next will be mustard, and that, so a little bit less than ketchup. Then hot sauce, only a little bit. You only want the flavor, not the heat. Okay, that's probably too much, but whatever. And then a little bit of the Mendez. Mendez is really strong. You don't need a lot, really strong flavor. So you just want the essence of it. You don't really want it to overtake anything. And that's it for the sauce. So we're gonna stir this up. And the reason I'm doing it first is because I want this. These are 5 condiments that, as of a second ago, were strangers. So they may be a little shy, and we gotta get them to know each other a little bit, okay? And that's it. That's the sauce. Let's taste it. Yep. That's what I want. Okay. Salt, pepper, garlic, and special ingredient. So, when you make your own seasoning blend for the burgers, you want 4 parts, actually in this order, 4 parts salt to 2 parts garlic to 1 part coarse pepper. Now, the reason, so think of like every step is like half of the other one. So if you do a cup of salt, you can do a half a cup of garlic powder and a 1/4 cup of pepper, okay? If you are cooking along live, just go ahead and mix that up, 4, 2, 1. I'm going to proceed because we got a lot of action going on here. Now, this is the special ingredient. This is umami seasoning. Umami is the 5th taste on our taste buds. It was discovered in 1908 by a Japanese scientist. I forgot his name, maybe it's umami. But basically, it's the taste of savory, okay? It's also known as monosodium glutamate. I might have butchered that. Which also is known as MSG. MSG. Okay, MSG is okay. It is in a lot of foods. It is naturally in tomatoes and a whole bunch of other foods. It's in a lot of food you eat. It's in Doritos. I had some Doritos yesterday. I looked on the ingredients and what is on there, monosodium glutamate. Okay, it is the difference of good and great. It is a reason it is used. The whole Chinese food MSG thing is hogwash and kind of the original fake news, if you will. So do your own research. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but you're probably eating a lot of it already. So check the ingredients. I want to show you this because this is what I use out of the package. I think it's a perfect blend. I love it. This is Killer Hog's brand, all-purpose seasoning, which is salt, pepper, garlic, and MSG. So the ingredients: salt, dehydrated garlic, spices, which is pepper, basically, monosodium glutamate, MSG. See, it's in here. You didn't even know it. So that is what makes savory things taste really good. And I highly suggest you do your own research, get your own facts, and check it out because you're missing out on a lot of flavor. And don't let the scare of the Chinese food back in the 80s, I think it was, scare you from actually using it. There's a whole bunch of other stuff in Chinese food, so it's probably one of those things. For the sauce, we're gonna do later, for the sauce for the tots. And right now, we gotta start grinding our meat. Okay, cheese will stay there. So why do I freshly ground our meat? Because I want the meat to be as loose as possible without it being separate, from each other. Because we want the least amount of resistance as possible when we smash the burgers. Because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take an ice cream scoop, because it's a perfect portion, basically very lightly scoop out the meat, put it on the pan and smash it. And I'll show you that in a second, okay? So I have my KitchenAid attachment with my meat grinder, and I have my scale because we want a 50-50 mix of picanha, which is right here, and short rib. So let me zero that out. So short rib typically comes in a bone. You can ask your butcher to take the bone off and have boneless short rib, totally fine. I took these 3 off. I left this one on so I could show you how I'm gonna do that. And these right now weigh in just a hair over a pound. So let's cut this last piece of short rib. The way you wanna cut this, and actually the way you butcher anything, is you kind of let the bones and the muscles do the work for you. And you're just kind of chipping away at the seams so that everything just kind of peels apart. So that's what we're gonna do here. So here's the bone, maybe on the cutting board, here's the bone. And we're just gonna chip away at the bone and slowly peel it back, okay? So, the first cut, and then slowly peel the bone off like that, okay? Now it's bone. So, don't throw that away. We have all this saved. When you get enough of this, this makes for an amazing beef stock. So save it, put it in the freezer. When you get enough of it, use it to make your own beef stock, which could be even, you know, beef demi-glaze, which is really nice. So anyway, there's our short rib, which is now measuring at 1 pound 5 ounces. So let's just call it 1.5. So I'm gonna make 3 pounds of meat. Okay, picanha. Here we go. Picanha, when you buy picanha, you're gonna want, it's got a huge fat cap, which I'm gonna remove most of it tonight because there's a lot of fat in the short rib and I want that fat. If there's any Brazilians watching right now, they would probably wanna shoot me because this is a cardinal sin in Brazil is to remove this fat cap. I never remove this fat cap except for when I'm making smashburgers. So I apologize in advance if I make anybody from Brazil pass out in that process. But the reason I love this cut so much is because for whatever reason, it is, even though there's not a lot of fat on it, like you can see there's some fat in there, but it's not a lot. It is super juicy, like real juicy and intense flavor with that juice. So I much prefer a steak of this than I do like a ribeye. And I know it says a lot, but anyway. So on the picanha, I'm gonna turn this around so you can see it. On the picanha, you're gonna see 3 veins, 1, 2, and 3, okay? Real picanha is this piece right here, right in the middle. This is the tender part and the flavor part, okay? So because I'm not gonna use all of this, I only need 1.5 pounds, I'm going to chop off right here, which is that. And then this is the other line. So this part right here will share a similar taste. It won't be as intense of a picanha flavor, but it's really chewy. So if you've ever made this before and you're wondering why some pieces are really, really tender and some pieces are really, really like chewy, it's because of that, okay? So I'm gonna take this off. So now we're left with real picanha, okay? Let's make a set measure here. So this is just over 3 pounds, 3 pounds, 2 ounces. So by the time I take off the fat, we will have probably the right amount of meat we need. Now, you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to take it all off. If you leave some on, it's totally fine. You just want to get most of it off because in this particular case, which is rare, I don't want it. So, let's trim this off a little bit more. Just trying not to get the meat off. So I'll leave that on, that's fine. Let's reweigh. All right, 2 pounds, 13 ounces. All right, so we got about a 50-50 mix here. So now we're going to chop it up in cubes and run it through the grinder, okay? But before I do that, let me chop up in cubes first. You know what? Let's get this started. So this is a cast iron griddle, and I'm going to be putting this flames on high because we want to use cast iron tonight and get this as hot as possible, just like a steak. Because what we're going for is a maximum amount of that mahogany brown flavor that you get in steak that really makes steak taste like steak. We're looking for that, and we're looking for a lot of it. That's why you smash it, okay? So I'm gonna keep this meat separate so I know what it is. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm just cutting it in chunks, about an inch by an inch, whatever. Just enough to get it down the chute, okay? Let's go crazy. But you do want to get it in there. So, okay, there's a picanha. The reason I'm keeping it separate here is because as I feed it through, I'm gonna wanna alternate 2 or 3 pieces and then 2 or 3 pieces so that I don't have to mess around with the, I don't want to spend a lot of time in here mixing this around. That's what's going to get it back stuck together. Again, I want to keep it as loose as possible. So I'm going to rotate them and let the machine do the work for me there. Okay, this in half. So short rib is very, it's a very tough piece of meat. Typically you will cook short rib for a very long time. It's great for braising or even on the smoker. It's one of my favorite pieces of meat to smoke. It's a whole plate rib. So the plate rib is basically short rib, but before they cut it up into pieces this size. So it's like, you know, this long. It's called like dino rib. Sometimes you'll hear dino ribs, the marketing term that barbecue restaurants will use. It's hard to come by these days because the price of plate ribs has gone up a lot. So it's very hard for barbecue places to make money off of those big short rib bones. And I forgot I'm keeping this separate. So there we go. Short rib and picanha. Okay, oh, shoot, I never plugged this in. First, you want to plug in your KitchenAid. I knew I missed something. There's a lot of prep work involved in this. So this is Guy's Home Kitchen. If you're tuning in, we're making smashburgers. It is really my kitchen. You just heard my dog bark, and we're live, so no cutting that out. We're making the best smashburgers, 50-50 mix of picanha and short rib, which is my favorite mix. I've tried a lot of different ones. I got my cast iron griddle, it's getting smoking hot. I got tater tots in the oven, getting ready to do in a mix of butter, garlic, and truffle sauce. So let's get going here. So this is picanha going in. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And if you don't mind, if you belong to any cooking groups, I would really appreciate if you could share this video into those groups and help other people find out what's going on right now. Or even share it on your own personal news feed. I would appreciate that very much. So right now we're just grinding our meat, alternating short rib and picanha 50-50. If you don't have a meat grinder, you could definitely let your butcher do that for you. However, if you do that, I would recommend you do that as close to cooking time as possible, but whatever, just get it done. Also, when you are freshly grinding meat, you want to keep the meat as cold as possible. A little trick is also to cube it, throw it in the freezer, and then grind it. You know, take it out of the freezer, wait 5 minutes, and then grind it. That helps too. The reason for that is because you want to keep the fat as cold as possible so the grinder doesn't really melt down the fat. You want the fat remaining in chunks, and you want that fat to melt out and render down on the cast iron. So I'm starting to see some smoke from the cast iron, which is a good sign. We may have some smoke alarms going off today. Usually when I make this, I do it outside on my grill just to keep it cleaner in the kitchen. However, doing a live cooking show, so inside we go. Okay. Good. So there is our 3 pounds of freshly ground 50-50 mix of picanha and short rib. You can see, it's hard to see the difference between the two. I really don't want to play with this. But this is what I'm talking about with the looseness of it. Because when we go into scooping here, it's gonna start getting together, which is okay. A little bit's okay. You just don't want a lot. Okay, so I need my scooper and I need my pan here. Can you guys let me know in the comments if you can see the smoke picking up here? Because this is exactly what you want to see. This burner is actually bigger than that burner, so I'm going to start on this side because it's hotter. But you should be able to, you want to get this smoking hot. I'm going to turn the exhaust on, so hopefully you can still hear me. Usually you can. Then we're going to start smashing. Okay, before I actually put it on, I need my seasoning, because here's the process. It's going to go fast once I start going, so I want to tell you before I go. Scoop, press, season, okay? And we're going to do that. Usually I could get 4 on each side. Every 2 patties is going to make 1 burger, just so you know. And then when we flip them for a hot second, season the other side, okay? So here we go.
Smoke is very clear.
Awesome. And there's that. So I'm trying to move fast here. Okay, we'll do like that for now. And then you just smash it like this. Okay? Now you smash it. Now, you see how that stuck? Here's what you do. After you smash it, you slide it. Okay? Do a little slide technique and it won't stick. And don't be afraid about pressing too hard. Thinner, the better, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? So, get that going. So right now, the reason we're smashed is because we want as much surface area as possible, creating that Maillard reaction to create that wonderful flavor. And at this point, we're going to season. Okay? Don't be shy with the seasoning. Then when we flip, we're going to season again, and then we're going to put cheese on top. Then I'll do another batch. And I'm going to do one without cheese because our official taste tester, Vito, does not like cheese whatsoever. So he's going to have smashed hamburgers, not smashed cheeseburgers. That's okay. So in this case, we're not really going for doneness in terms of medium rare, well done, whatever. They're all going to be well done. It's impossible to do these medium rare because of the thinness of it. But what you want is it for it to look like this. Okay? Don't worry about if these pieces fall apart on you a little bit. That's okay. The cheese is also going to act as glue a little bit. But we're going to have some really good, crispy, tender burgers. Okay, look at that color. Okay, now that side has the seasoning on it. I can already smell the difference of seasoning and no seasoning. So now, season again this side. And the seasoning again is just salt, pepper, garlic, and MSG. Really good. So, for the cheese, every burger patty will get its own slice of cheese. And then we stack them, which kind of makes it really good. So you can see how these cook really fast. It's a timer for the tots. Alexa, set timer for 5 minutes. I'm gonna let them go another 5 minutes. I want them crispier.
30 minutes.
So the second time around, the cast iron cooled down a little bit because it was cooking the burgers. So it might take a little bit longer, but what I'm also looking for is just a nice melted cheese. Cheese will actually tell me when this is done on this side. If you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comments. We are live on YouTube right now as well, in the Guys Home Kitchen YouTube channel. So you can watch us on Facebook or YouTube. And if you do watch us on YouTube, you can watch this in full HD, which is nice. Okay, so now we stack them. Just one on top of the other like this. Oh yeah, you know that's gonna be good. Yep, it's good. Okay, now scrape off this and put some more on here. More on here. Okay, let's do some more. Just like last time, except this time I'm going to make 2 without cheese for my son who does not like cheese. And if you don't like cheese either, that's what you do. You just don't put it on. Okay, so this will end up being 4 more burgers. I'll have 7 burgers tonight. And we smash. Oh, that sound is amazing. This one's sticking a little bit. Another trick with the sticky parts is if you use parchment paper, you could put a parchment square on it, and then it's starting to get hot. And then it should come right off. But again, like you saw with the cheese is kind of not only tastes really good, but just brings it all together. And oh, by the way, this is the classic version. If you want to add bacon, egg, lettuce, tomato, onions, whatever, you can. I actually prefer these really simply like this, but the meat do all the work for you with the paste, and cheese is a perfect complement. Yellow American cheese, in my opinion, only way to go on burgers. It is the best. This is what we're using tonight. But if you wanted to get creative, go ahead and get creative. Gruyere is good cheese. You can even do a cheese blend on it as well. So again, just smashed them. We just seasoned it, and then we're gonna flip it, season again, throw some cheese on them, and then get them to like this. So good. What?
People say their Alexas are going off.
That's funny. Alexa, set a reminder to watch Guys Home Kitchen next Sunday at 6 o'clock. Yeah. Okay. We'll flip these. I'll be quiet. So even if it's like this will work. Alexa, stop. Okay, getting here. It smells so good in here right now. Oh, look at the color in this one. That's perfect. You know why? Because we didn't actually cook on this part, the first round of burgers. Okay, so now season. One more time. And then cheese. Boom. 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 Oh, need more cheese. So this is the Land O'Lakes yellow cheese right out of the package, as you saw. And it makes the best burgers. All right, I get these tots out. Take my sweat off my face. Okay, these tots looking good. This is all starting to come together nicely here. I will leave this just like this. I'm gonna use those in a second. Okay. This one, and this one, this one, and this one. Look at that. Look how good that looks. Man, these are good. Ha. So these bits right here, normally I'd save them and stuff. So if you're cooking at home, definitely take those bits and save it. They're really good. Okay, so there are our 6 cheeseburgers. And hamburgers reserved separately for Vito. Okay, so I left this on because what I'm gonna do right now is toast my buns, because I like my buns nice and toasty. Okay, so if you watch the Perfect Steak episode, what you would have learned is that when you want to sear in a cast iron, you could do one of 2 things. You can use avocado oil or mayo for a really good sear. Same thing applies when you toast buns on the grill. And just give it a nice little light coating here. It's gonna help brown them and toast them really nice. Just like that. We got any questions tonight? It's a pretty straightforward recipe, I guess. Next week we're doing tortelli quattro formaggi, which is 4 cheese ravioli, or tortelli, which is kind of, think tortellini, just really big. The ini part is what makes it small. In Italy, tortelli is kind of used as a way to just represent stuffed pasta. So ravioli. So if you go to a restaurant, depending upon the region, you may get ravioli, you may get real tortelli. Are we not live anymore? Okay, I heard we're having technical issues. Can you guys just comment real fast and let me know if you can still see me? Huh? Oh, great. Okay. Let's get one more bun on there. So, look at that. Starting to Sorry, look at that one's done, so I'm gonna take that one off. I don't want that one to burn. Okay. It's right here. In the meantime, I'm gonna put the butter in the pan for the things here. Keep the heat low for the butter for the tater tots because we're not looking for brown butter today. We're just looking for it to melt and not really change. So for that much, I'm probably gonna use that much. Okay, let's check. Most. Okay. Okay, that's melting. While that melts, we will mince the garlic. Everything's moving fast now, as you can see. I feel like I'm on like a competitive show now. Gotta move quick. So we got about that much garlic. I think you can tell how I measure it. So we're just mincing the garlic. It's not gonna be there that long. And when the butter is melted and warmed, we'll add that. Let's check this. That's looking good. Better. It's good. It's good. Perfect. Okay, sorry to get crispy here. So this is what I'm talking about with nice toasty buns. I love my buns warm and toasty. Can't tell you that enough. Butter's melting. Okay, while we wait for that to melt, I need a large bowl because tots are gonna go right in. Okay, that's done. That's done. Perfect. Perfect. What's that? Does my red jacket match these buns? Why? It's because it's hot? Oh. So right now we're adding the garlic to this butter here, which again we're keeping on very low because we're trying not to burn the butter. We're just melting it. As soon as this butter is done melting, that we'll add the truffle oil wherever I put that. Okay, truffle oil in. Taste your truffle oil before you put it in. Some are stronger than others. This is cold Vita, so it's just the American version of it. It's pretty strong. So I just want a little essence of truffle oil in here. I don't really want it to overpower anything. Okay, turn the heat off. And at this point, we will add some freshly cracked pepper. Okay. Let's get this off. For the tots, we will put the tots in the bowl. Okay. Tots are in the bowl. Now, we'll take the sauce we just created and season up tater tots just like this. Okay. You don't have to use everything you make if, you know, so just check it out. Now we're just gonna toss them. Okay, now to tie these two things together, we will use our seasoning and just lightly dust it with that seasoning. Okay, there's our top. So now we come back and we will make our burgers. So the way you put these together, take your sauce and you don't need a lot of this. So just about that much. Just use the back of the spoon to mix it all around. Have some happy little burgers. You know that reference, Tito? Yeah, Tito's laughing. He loves Bob Ross. Okay. So remember, these are super simple. So we will take a patty on the bottom. Take a patty, put it on the bottom. Take a patty, put it on the bottom. And then one for our official taste tester there. Okay, and then we take our tops. This. Okay. What we'll do, I'm ready to serve this up. We will take our awesome garlic butter truffle tater tots. Just throw these right on here like this. Okay, you smell them? Yeah. My wife just said they smell so good. So now to finish the tots, we will take some chives. Quickly dice these up.
You have a question or something?
Yeah, question. Go ahead.
All right. Mary Lou wants to know, can we make the sauce a day in advance?
Yes, it's better actually. Certainly make that in advance. The only thing I would not make in advance, if it's convenient, is the grinding of the meat. Or the sauce for the tots, if you're also including that. Now, lastly, to finish this off, we will take our Parmigiano Reggiano, which also has natural monosodium glutamate in here. Lots of umami in Parmigiano Reggiano, which is why it's used in a lot of flavorings. Put that on there like that. And voila, we have our smash burgers with tots in a garlic butter truffle sauce. All right, hold on, don't go anywhere. We have to taste this. So Vito, you should come over here. Okay, let's start with the tots first, okay? Let's get you a fork. I'm gonna taste it with you, okay?
Okay.
So, there's the top.
Good.
The camera's right there, okay? What do you think?
I really
Yeah?
taste that garlic.
Yeah. A lot better than just the regular ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cheese.
What does it smell like? Smell it. Put your nose in there and smell it.
Garlic.
Okay. Here is your hamburger. I'm just gonna cut it in half for you so you can taste it, okay? Go ahead. Give that a try.
It's very tender.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Here, got a close-up on the board here. Look at that. Close-ups out? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh my God. Holy cow.
I really taste the tenderness.
The beef flavor just comes right through, and the moisture you get from the cheese, oh man, and then the sauce just all works together. Oh wow. That's saucy, baby. You gotta try it. Please share this video, comment below, like it, help me out, spread the word. Next week we're making tortelli, quattro formaggi, 4 cheese tortelli, and a cream sage sauce. So until next time, stay saucy.